Do you still remember in Snow White, there's a magic mirror? When the queen stood in front of the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Yeah. And the magic mirror answered, Snow White. And the queen snapped. He did a lot of bad things and eventually led to her demise. The evil was punished, goodness restored, and we let out a sigh of relief. Ah, happily ever after. But was it? Was it really happily ever after? Have you thought about a different ending? When the queen asked, Mirror, mirror on the wall, what if the mirror, instead of answering, but asked, What do you see? What makes this question so important to you? What would you think the queen would respond? Maybe, just maybe, she would pause for a moment and do a little self-reflection and set off on a journey of self-discovery to find her true purpose instead of doing bad things. Wouldn't that be happily ever after? Some of you maybe say, hey, let's not get too carried away with fairy tales, Snow White, Magic Mirror, Evil Queen. Those are Disneyland stuff. We love Snow White. Who cares about the Evil Queen? What if I tell you Snow White walks among us and you have a magic mirror and maybe, just maybe, the Evil Queen deserves a second chance? Let me show you with my own story. I was born in a fairy tale family, more or less just like your fairy tale family. In this little kingdom of four, there was a Snow White, my sister. She was beautiful, sweet, kind, always do the right things, listened to my parents, and studied hard in school. She was kind of kid every parent would pray to have. Do you have a Snow White like that around you? Yeah? And then I was born. If you're guessing I was quite different, you're right. I was kind of kid every parent would pray not have. If I came with a refund policy, my parents probably would already refunded me because I was a monkey of a kid, climbing the trees to talk to the birds, wading in streams to catch frogs, and fighting imaginary battles with boys, and sometimes fighting with boys. By the age of kindergarten, I was already a serial escaper. Every morning, my mom would walk me to the kindergarten gate and she would head off to work. As soon as she turned the corner, poof, I was gone, off for a day of adventure. In the afternoon, when my mom came to pick me up, she would face my angry teachers. And I would face my punishment, which was sitting at the corner to write my promises. In those days, when I looked into the mirror, I saw Snow White, my sister. Trust me, I tried to catch up with her. I tried, but somehow there was an invisible force holding me back. Because you see, I wasn't just a monkey. I was also not following the kingdom rules. My mom was a physics professor. My dad engineer, and my sister eventually went to computer science. And I want to be an artist. During the day, I would experience life through lines and shades and colors, butterflies, frogs, and crickets. In the evening, I brought them to life on paper. I created my little kingdom. And that was the only time when I looked into the mirror, I see me. But in the kingdom of science, there's little room for art. So I pondered and wondered. I asked, mirror, mirror on the wall, which path is the best of them all? Once again, the mirror showed me Snow White. Maybe, maybe it was me. Maybe I was wrong. Because after all, Snow White means happily ever after. So I followed my sister into computer science, the golden kingdom of zeros, ones, and dancing bits and bytes, and full of promises and riches. Everybody in there was so happy. But I felt like a strange guest in somebody else's kingdom. Nothing belonged to me, and I belonged to nowhere. I thought about escape, but I had time slipped away silently. Little by little, I forgot. Once upon a time, I had a little kingdom of my own. Until one night, for no reason, as if struck by an unseen force, I collapsed on the floor, crying and wailing for no reason. Have you seen anybody done that? Me neither. I didn't know why. I supposed to be happy, so I asked, mirror, mirror on the wall, I no longer see Snow White. Instead, it was a skeleton of myself clinging to the last strength, whispering, do you see me? Do you see me? Luckily, I did. I paused for a moment of self-reflection and set off on a journey of self-discovery to find my true purpose and the meaning of being me. It was not an easy or short journey, but it was my journey, filled with ponders and wonders, frankly, a lot of blunders. And on that journey, from an unseen force, I was guided to the kingdom of public speaking. It was my second chance to create and create and create my little kingdom with words, expressions, and emotions. And I found my purpose is to use them, lift others, and help them to find their purposes. Now, when I look into my mirror, I see me. My friends, we do love Snow White. Some of you are. Some of you maybe want to be. Some of you plain just don't care. But it's not important. What important is when you look into your magic mirror, what do you see? What do you see? What do you truly see?
记得点赞关注哦。